Yo, what? Yo, wow. That was, up to this day, the best mid-season finale they have delivered so far. Wow. All three episodes were awesome in their own way. Holy crap, am I excited when the season comes back, or at least for the holiday special, because we still have the holiday specials coming up December 2nd, I believe. So let's just get right into it. Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Rohan Lawrence, and this is my Star vs. the Forces of Evil vlog, and I'm going to be reviewing the three episodes today. Nightlife, Deep Dive, and Monster Bash. So let's just get right into it. So, the first episode, Nightlife, begins with Marco and Hekapoo. Good to see them team up again. And Marco is in his future form self with his muscles and everything. So I was wondering, because I read the synopsis for this episode, and I was like, okay, seeing that Marco and Hekapoo are going to be interacting, I wonder if he's going to get his, like, hot body back, as everyone calls it. And it's cool that he does. Turns out that if he's in certain dimensions that he's traveled, that he gets all those abilities back. So that was cool. So it turns out Marco and Hekapoo have been teaming up, closing up these random portals that have been showing up everywhere. And I think everyone already knew who was causing it. And basically he's been doing that late at night, so, nobody, pretty much so Star doesn't know about it. So they end their day of dimension hopping by just going at a bar, Hekapoo and Marco, and Marco says, "All right, I'll be there to help you save time tomorrow." So he goes back into MEWNI, tries to sneak back, but then Star catches him. Which I'm wondering, if he wanted to avoid being caught, why didn't he just dimension scissor himself in his own room? But I guess the plot has to happen. And so Star essentially wants to know, okay, where has he been this whole time? And he just kind of makes up a lie. He says that, he's gone fishing. He caught a big mackerel and he ate it and stuff like that. And Star pretty much needs him to be around to help out with, like, the castle and stuff like that. To help out with the castle duties and with Glossaric. And Marco promises, all right, I'll help out with Glossaric tomorrow. Of course, because, shenanigans have to ensue, he does watch Glossaric, but only for a short time to go back to Hekapoo. And Hekapoo is starting to get annoyed too. He's like, where have you been? It's just like he's trying to balance both lives, but it's just not working. And I have some comments about that later on. So he comes back to Star, and it turns out he didn't exactly do the job as properly as he should. And Star finds out that he's been hanging out with Hekapoo. Star is not happy about that. I can understand why, but I'll do my best to save the comments for later, because I really just want to comment it, because I feel like they did some things that I wasn't okay with. Star says that, I need you here, I need you to promise me that you're gonna, like, stay here and not go off on adventures. And Marco promises by even giving her his dimensional scissors so that he won't run off. But, of course, adventure calls again. He sneaks into Star's room and goes off to where Hekapoo is. But it turns out Hekapoo is tired of him being wishy-washy as well and hired somebody else because she said that she wasn't sure that he was even going to make it in the first place. Marco, Hekapoo, and this hired cyclist, which is what they're called now. It's also good to see Marco riding nachos now. Like, it's so dope. They're off on another mission to stop the portal hopping. But this time, there's been a pattern that Hekapoo's been tracking. And she knows now that whatever's causing these things is going to show up at the spot, is going to show up at a certain area. So they head over there, and Marco kind of reveals that he knew the whole time that it was in fact Star who was causing these portals. If anyone remembers the Sweet Dreams episode, she started her dimension hopping, which ties in directly into the next episode, which is what I love. When it looks like they're about to take him down, Marco reveals that, wait, stop, I know it's Star. Hekapoo gets really angry, rightfully so, because he didn't tell her. And he says essentially the reason why is because, adventuring right now with Hekapoo is the best thing that's really happened to him ever since he got to MEWNI, but she still has to do her job. When they find out it's Star, they let her go, and Marco asked Hekapoo to essentially promise that she won't tell the High Commission. Hekaboo agrees and says that, Star's lucky to have a squire like you, but we cannot do adventures anymore. Like, it's done. So that's unfortunate. Marco returns back to Star, and Star thinks that she's caught him going on adventures again, but she explains to him that he's been going on these adventures to cover for Star, essentially. Like, you've been portal hopping, and me and Hekaboo have been closing them out. Star starts getting worried, asks if Hekaboo knows. She does. And Marco says essentially, listen, I love adventuring, but I want to keep you safe, but you need to promise me to stop doing this. And shows him the map that Hekaboo gave him the pattern of where Star is going. The next episode goes right into it. They connect, and it's called Deep Dive. And now Jan is in this episode, and Jan is just, of course, awesome in this. And Star wants to essentially stop doing this portal hopping that she's doing. So she asks for Jana's help to hypnotize her, to like keep an eye on her to see where she's going. Marco doesn't believe it until Jana shows that she can essentially hypnotize Marco to fall asleep whenever he says by saying chicken butt. And I'm just like, I'm growing more and more concerned for Marco's safety around Jana. She's got she's got his social security, got the keys to his house, and can essentially knock him out whenever she pleases. I am very, very concerned that Jenna has all this power over Marco, and I am not okay with it / okay with it. So she hypnotizes her, and to make sure that they know where Star is going, Star attaches her phone on top of her head so they know where she is via the mirror phone. So she begins to go to sleep, and boom, instantly she starts portal hopping again. They start to keep an eye on her until she starts going to a place that, they can't even follow. They try to call the phone, nothing. Marco even tries to use his dimensional scissors, but because he doesn't know where she's going, the dimensional scissors takes him immediately right back to Star's room. Turns out that Star has been hearing, voices to call her to what's called the Dimension of Magic, which seems like a very intoxicating place. I was like, what is going on? And essentially, it's filled with all these magical horses, the same ones that fuel Star's magic wand. And she actually runs in to the pony that she had created in the Battle for MEWNI at the end, where she got her new wand. And when it looks like Star is going to leave now that she finally knows what was calling her, she is literally enticed by these ponies and the realm to just stay there, to the point where the longer she stays, she forgot her own name. Marco starts getting naturally worried, and seeing that the dimension systems won't work and calling her is useless, he decides to get things drastic. And this was one of my favorite parts of the entire episode. He takes Star's wand, and it transforms into, his own version. And I gotta say, the design for it is really, really dope. It has spikes, wings on it, and Jenna even makes it more personal by adding a nice, cute little mole that Marco also has, which is cool. So, now he's got the wand, and it's in his version. He uses the All-Seeing Eye spell, which I'm just like, wow. First Star was using it to spy on him, but now it's just vice versa. It's just like a switch. But I will talk about it a little bit now. The reasons that they did it are drastically different, and that's something I want to go into more later. So he uses the All-Seeing Eye and finds Star, kind of drunk on the Realm of Magic's environment, and tells him to he tells her to get out of there. But she doesn't remember or anything like that until he tries to do what Star did with Glasswork, but it doesn't work. And then she snaps out of it, remembering Marco says that she has to go. And luckily for her, it seems that this whole thing was necessary, because now she can fully control her full butterfly form at will and can just open dimensions easily. So, damn, Star is getting powerful. Star comes back to Marco and Jana asking where they are. She finds Marco eventually, and just like, what are you doing with my wand? It's like, well, I kind of ran out of options. And Star, in her own way, was like, well, that was really stupid. Marco's like, well, thank you. And she hugs him because she does appreciate what she did. Marco blushes, obviously, feelings growing, stuff like that. Jana's just like, oh, can you guys just get a portal? Still hanging there. And she tells them that, I can control the full butterfly form easily now. Marco is worried about that, but both Jana and Star send him to sleep by saying chicken butt. So that's how the episode ends. So I'm gonna go over both these episodes before I get into Monster Bash. Uh, how I feel about Nightlife. I love the fact that Marco can get his future body depending on what dimension he goes to. So he's earned that right. I mean, like, I feel like it sucks that if he goes to his own dimension or MEWNI, that, you know, he just loses it. But it is cool that in some dimensions he can, like, be buff again, so that's awesome. However, what I don't like is the fact that Marco is essentially proving Tad right. He is doing what Tad said. He's making himself miserable being around Star a little bit. And here's where I'm going to explain. Like, he clearly enjoys his adventures with Hekapoo, and it is nice that he's doing something that doesn't really involve Star, considering his revelation about his feelings about her, but, like, he's just kind of, I don't know, I don't like the way it's going so far with that aspect of it. And, you know, it ends up costing Marcos his adventures with Hekapoo, because, well, I'm sure Hekapoo will get over, and she does have a right to be mad at him, and, like, she takes her job as, you know, the mistress of Dimension Scissors. Like, she takes that job very seriously, so she's right to be mad. But Marco just seems to be, I don't know, going above and beyond for something that it's just not going to happen. I feel like he's doing it to try to win him points, and it's just not really, it's not really good for him, honestly. They didn't really portray Star in this episode well either. Again, Star does have a point for being mad because Marco did promise that she'd help him. He'd help her. And I'm all for sticking to your commitments and stuff like that. But they didn't really put Star in the best light in this episode. They kind of made her seem like, I'm going to have to use the word naggy. It's like, I was watching the comments on YouTube of that episode, because, you know, YouTube just gets them up quick. And people were just saying, like, oh, look, Marco's cheating on his not girlfriend. It's just like, I get it. But at the end of the day, he needs that time for himself. Like, I like the fact that he's just going on adventures on his own. Like, he wants to be more adventurous, which, again, kind of goes to the whole Marco and Star switching personality thing. Is just they're just really hammering that point home. But him going above and beyond, I get it, that's his best friend. I think more so than a crush or anything, that is his best friend. And Marco has already shown that he would go above and beyond for it. But now that, you know, you got the whole crush thing attached to it, again, it's just a personal thing, because just, like, you shouldn't really put yourself out there so much for a person who's not really going to reciprocate those feelings. I feel like you're just hurting yourself in the long run. So that's how I feel about that. Deep Dive was awesome. Like, not that Nightlife wasn't awesome, but Deep Dive was dope, because I love Marco's wand design. It's really cool. I am concerned, though, because when he was using the wand, he showed, like, the butterfly cheek symbols. And when I remember, it was like in season 1, that seems so long ago, when Lobster Claws was using that. I don't remember him getting a sigil or anything like that. I'll have to double check, but before I made this, I was just looking up on the lore of Star and stuff like that, and I wanted to see if Marco's sigils, which were moon, they were crescent moons, I wanted to see if any of the Queens of MEWNI had that. I looked around, obviously Star doesn't, Moon doesn't, Eclipsa doesn't, Eclipse's daughter doesn't, which we're going to get into that later. Holy hell. None of them had that. However, while Eclipsa doesn't have those on her cheeks, in her first, I'm going to say, official appearance, when she's talking with Moon when she was done during the Battle of MEWNI special, on her bib, she was wearing a bib that had that same sigil. So I'm wondering if Marco is, like, I don't know if anyone watched Yu Yu Hakusho, like, spoilers, if anyone's watching it right now, but, like, it was discovered that Yusuke is, like, the Mazoku, like, he's a demon. I wonder if that's the same thing with Marco, because one of the things that I didn't notice that the Star community picked up on for comments and stuff like that was that during the Lava Lake Beach episode, the Soul Rise is the same day as his birthday. A demonic event happens the same time of Marco's birth. I wonder if there's going to be more into that, because, like, I'm excited. So, it was really cool seeing Marco's version of the Star Wand. It had the wings, spikes, the fact that he has, like, crescent moon sigils on his cheek, really awesome. Now that Star can go full butterfly whenever she wants, that is awesome. I wish they had done a little bit more for her to kind of earn it, but for what it was, I enjoyed it. You know, she did almost get, like, kind of intoxicated by the dimension of magic, so that's definitely I'll say that's a definite passable trial. So both episodes were awesome. I'm gonna give them both 5 stars because they connect right into each other and they were just really enjoyable. So let's get on to the mid-season finale, Monster Bash. Oh, whew, damn. The revelations in this show, man. Like I thought the season finale of season 2 was good, but damn! And this is only the mid-season finale. I geeked the hell out when I saw this. Okay, so picking up on the events of, oh my god, of Deathpeck essentially. Star is setting up a party for humans and monsters, and it's all the people who are invited are the heirs to their respective thrones and people their age, which makes sense. You can't really see adults like kind of mingling, but you do have to start with the younger generation. Again, I do love that Star is dedicated to this. I like that they're giving her a focus, and she is not gonna stop until she like achieves peace between humans and monsters. I think that is something I hope that's something that they continue on with because it's really given Star more depth. Like, she has grown a lot from the, reckless rebel princess that, we all love her for, but, like, it's good to see her, like, showing responsibility. And she's passionate about this. This isn't, like, some kind of, one-night thing. Like, she's been consistent with this, so I'm glad for that. So the party gets started and stuff like that. She's checking around to see if everything's good. Do we have enough snacks? Is the music great? Is the punch cold enough? Which she discovers it's not. Marco goes off to get ice because of it, but she's just like, dude, I have magic. And freezes it with a giant block of ice. As she goes to taste it in classic Star action, she of course puts her tongue on it and she's stuck. But she's helped by her boyfriend, Tom, and they have what I gotta admit is just a darn precious moment between them. I mean, like, I can't say it enough, people. They're a good couple. I can't really get annoyed or mad. They're like a good, genuinely good couple. And I was a little bit worried this episode because it looked like I wouldn't have taken any pleasure in it. I was getting worried that they were going to have them break up in this episode because like Tom was getting mad that Star wanted to just focus on tonight, being able to make humans and monsters coexist. Tom, of course, gets annoyed because he hasn't seen her much around lately. And Marco tries to explain to him, just like, well, she is busy. She's been trying to get this whole thing done. She's trying to get rid of years of bigotry. And Tom is just like, dude, I'm just going to stop you right there. I am not invested in politics at all. And Marco's just like, you're a prince. Everything you do is political. This leads up to another funny scene right after that where apparently Marco's fighting pose is now has definitely now full-fledged turned into the sword hand dance. So thank you, Eclipse. So thank you so much for making it a thing because it's the biggest craze that's sweeping the MEWNI nation right now. And Marco's just like, this is not a dance. This indicates that I am poised for combat. And then Kelly shows up and just like, hey, you want to dance? And he's just like, yeah, sure, whatever, fine. They just have fun and dance together. So that was a nice moment between the two. I have no problem with them interacting as long... I'm not even going to say that anymore. Whatever happens, happens. So, the party seemingly is going well and stuff like that. The humans and monsters are coexisting. It's good. It's going great so far. Until one of the slime monsters and one of the princesses, like Princess Mosquito Bite, I think it is. Forgot what she's called. They stumble across like a hidden storage room. By the way, the temple where they're having the party is the same temple that I believe Ludo was in when he was being possessed by Toffee. So, yeah. I realized that at the end of the episode where they panned out and showed where they were having it, I was like, that is definitely the same place. So, the slime guy and the princess stumble across this hidden passage, and there's just a scream, and things go wrong. So Star's kind of just like reveling in the fact that, she's gotten all this done until a scream happens, and a big crowd goes off to wonder, what happened. The princess comes back, but not the slime monster, says that, she doesn't know what happened, and the monsters start getting a little bit annoyed, just like, well, why did you leave him down there? And this starts to cause a rift between the two, the monsters and the humans. The humans think that humans wouldn't do that, it's something monsters would do, and of course the monsters naturally take offense to that. So things are kind of hitting the fan, and Star asks Ponyhead to make sure everyone is fine, and takes Marco to go find, the slime monster. Tom is, again, trying to spend time with his girlfriend, but Star is just like, listen, I don't have time for that anymore. Like, I don't have time for that right now. Like, I gotta focus on this, which, of course, Tom gets mad. I was really worried that we're gonna break them up, but everything was good by the end of the episode. So they go downstairs, and it turns out they find, of all people, Mina Loveberry there, Star's former idol. And they wonder, okay, what the heck she's doing down here? And Mina wonders the same thing. It's like, what are you doing in a monster temple? I've been, like, locking up these monsters. So it turns out it's not only the slime monster, but she's been kidnapping all the other monster guests in the castle as well. Star and Marco say to let them go, but of course Mina does not listen, saying that it's her duty and that monsters cannot be trusted. The same thing that every adult in MEWNI has been saying for the entire season thus far. And this leads between a fight between her and Star. They try to fight her off, but as crazy as Mina is, she is crazy powerful as well. So that doesn't work out. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm skipping ahead a bit, I'm sorry. So when it looks like they're about to fight, Miss Heinous actually arrives because she wants to settle the beef with Marco, and Marco's just not having it. He's like, okay, that's it. I'm done running away. We're going to fight, but they get ambushed by Heinous's henchmen. And when it looks like she's going to do the same thing to Marco, what she did to that other princess in the last episode she was in the Princess Turdina episode, it turns out, now I'm really trying to remember, right before when that happens, like her sigils start to glow because, you know, she's excited that she's going to get her revenge on Princess Marco. And her sigils glowing causes a door to open. And man, did we get a revelation for all revelations. Heinous goes inside this room and starts to be like, I remember this place. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? She says, like, you know, this is where, like, I played as a kid. Like, this is my crib, my dolls, my room. And it turns out Mina reveals that Heinous is a member of the Butterfly family. And not only that, she's Eclipse's daughter. And I was just like, what the shit? Yo, I was like, well, that explains a lot. So yeah, Heinous is in fact a butterfly. And her name is not Heinous. It's Meteora. Meteora Butterfly. She is the half-human, half-monster daughter of Eclipse, Queen of Darkness. Holy crap, I geeked out. Oh, man. When Mina reveals that, Star is just like, she's a butterfly? And I'm just like, yo. And Mina, you know, being Mina, says that they need to eliminate her because it's just like, it's too coincidental that Eclipse woke up and now her daughter's back. And before she has a chance to do that, like, Meteor, I gotta start calling her that now, one of her arms turns into that of a monster. So it's just like, before anything else can happen, Mina starts attacking her, but Star and Marco try to hold her off. While that happens, Meteora and her henchmen get out of the way and they just leave, they flee. So the battle continues. Like I said, for as crazy as Loveberry is, she is also very powerful, and Star and Marco cannot fight her off by themselves. Tom even joins in the fray before trying to apologize, saying that, you know, I've been a little bit like a jerk. I understand this is important to you. But she says, that's great, and I appreciate that, but I got a problem right now. And he sees that he's fighting Mina, and Tom gets into the action, and just a really cool move where he tries to seal her, but Loveberry too strong, man. She's just way too strong, and manages to take out Star, Marco, and Tom. You gotta remember, these three of them aren't exactly pushovers. They know how to fight well, so like that kind of shows how powerful Loveberry is. Loveberry goes upstairs to try to find Meteora, but it has to run immediately when Romulus and some of the Knights of MEWNI show up. And so the party is crashed, and it turns out Star had this party without anybody's authorization. And so she's going to be facing some serious punishment for that. So after Romulus and his crew get here, sorry about that, Tom essentially is talking to Star again, saying that, no, she apologizes again for everything that he was saying and stuff like that. He understands that this is important to her, which is, again, a good, like, genuine moment, and I'm glad. Star does genuinely accept his apology, but is worried and says that, you know, this whole thing was a disaster. Tom says that, you know, there's no way you could have known about this, and Star's like, well, that's the point. I really don't know anything. Like, I thought I could fix this in just a day, and turns out I can't. I don't even know my own family anymore. It's just like, you know, it's really a shame because Star is definitely dedicated to this whole human and monster coexistence, and like they're just not making it easy. But it is true. Stuff like that does not go away in a couple days, months, or hell, years. Like it takes a lot of time. Um, Star stops the knights from taking in the monster because apparently they're going in under, like they're gonna be asked questions, and Star's just like, well, if you're gonna ask them questions, you have to ask them humans questions too. They were there and you know probably know as much or as little as the monsters. She orders them to get out and apologizes to the monsters. The monsters accept her apology, but you know they're clearly still traumatized from everything, and the relations definitely have gotten worse. So again, that's a shame. And so the episode ends with I'm forgetting that guy's name, like the Cyclops dude, saying, Miss Haynes, like, we have to leave, and she's like, that's not my name. My name is Meteora. And it shows her with like the demonic eyes with her demonic hand. So I think we found the villain for season 3, guys. Season 1 was essentially Ludo, and then halfway into it was essentially Toffee, and now it's gonna be one hell of a family feud. So how do I feel about this episode? It was freaking awesome. I love the fact that they're keeping Tom and Star together. I think having them, you know, date is good. And honestly, again, more in common with Marco. They better each other. And, like, Tom is genuinely sorry. Like, he got angry, but, like, he was able to control himself. I'm glad. Like, he's not the same person that he was before. None of them are, and I'm glad for that. Oh, man. Heinous being a butterfly. Holy crap. Wow. I am super excited. And it makes me wonder, because, you know, the promos and, like, the trailers for this were, like, building up to be, like, Eclipse's evil and stuff like that. But I genuinely don't know anymore. Well, it would be great to know that Eclipse is not evil. And, hell, I would want her to actually, like, talk to her daughter. Like, I'm hoping the angle they go with is, listen, I get it, but I don't hold any grudge towards the Butterfly family for what they did to me. Like, I'm over it. The only thing that I am sad about is that I wasn't there to raise you properly. And, I mean, Heinous' character makes a lot more sense now. I mean, like, she started St. Olga's School for Wayward Princesses when she is a wayward princess. Like, it makes so much sense now. Like, now when she said, I need you guys too, in that episode, when she's saying, you guys need me and I need you, and Star was like, what did she say? It makes so much sense. It's like, she can relate to them. It's just, she's a wayward princess. Like, oh my goodness. I was like, when I realized that, I was like, oh my god, that's why she started St. O's. Maybe her methods weren't the best way, but who knows if she had good intentions or not. Like, I'm definitely not agreeing with her methods, but like, it makes sense. It totally makes sense. I mean, like, a half-human, half-human baby? MEWNI was not gonna be okay with that. Jesus, this show's getting a lot of points that, like, respect to them. Like, this is one of those shows that because I was born in the 90s, and while I loved my cartoon shows in the 90s, I really do get a little bit peeved when 90s members are just like, our cartoons were so much better. Shows like this give our shows a run for their money, because I gotta tell you, this show is hitting on some seriously good points. Like, how they're handling things with relationships, unrequited love, and hell, yes, racism as well. They're dealing with the big issue of racism. Like, this show is just fantastic. I am glad I picked it up. But, again, I'm hoping Eclipse is not evil. I'm hoping Eclipse is going to work with Star to, like, you know, find her daughter and make sure she's okay. And, like, obviously Eclipse knows, because there was a portrait with her holding her baby. So, unless she got her memory wiped, I'm pretty sure she knows her daughter's out there. But she hasn't shown any indication of, you know, trying to find her or anything like that. Maybe she's just trying to enjoy herself for the moment. Who knows? Oh, man, what a mid-season finale. So I'm going to give this episode 10 out of 5 stars. Because, holy crap, the revelations and just, like, on a small note, I think I've hit on this one before. I'm hoping the Marco and Kelly friendship stays as a friendship. I know I'm probably going to be jinxing myself, but I can see them getting along and trying to help each other grow and get over their, you know, feelings for their respective people, for their respective crushes. So, that's just a small note, but wow. Man. Between Marco using the Star Wand, Star being able to control Full Butterfly, and finding out that Heinous is not a Heinous, but she is in fact a Meteora Butterfly, and half human, half monster. Whew! Jesus, that really escalated quickly. So that is it. The next episode that's going to happen are the holiday specials. Just titled one is titled Holiday Specials, and the other is Stump Day, which I've looked into, and apparently it's Star's birthday. So we'll see how that goes on. But yeah, I'm gonna miss doing these vlogs for a while, but I am super excited for what is in store. Darren and the creators, you guys really outdid yourselves. You guys have done a great job of just keeping me guessing. Whether it's with this whole shipping nonsense, the whole dealing with Eclipsa, I have not been able to like genuinely say something and be 100% confident that that's gonna happen. And I'm just gonna enjoy the heck out of this ride, and I hope you all do too. So I hope you guys enjoyed the vlog, and man, I hope you're as excited as I am for what's gonna happen next, because Meteor being the next villain, I am all for it. So I will see you guys at the next one. Goodbye.